meeting was held on the 12th of August. Would somebody like to propose? Councillor O'Connor, and seconded by Councillor Green. Is everybody in agreement? Thank you. Thank you. Right, Dave, public right to speak on the proposed schemes for the potential funding from the Margate Town deal. Are you there, Dave?
Yep, can you see me?
No, we can't see you.
Crikey.
You need to click on your
Screen.
video button down on the left-hand side of the screen. It should be, if you're on your laptop or PC. There you are. Hello, Dave.
Okay, shall I start now?
Yes, yes, if you would, thank you.
Okay, the Margate Town deal has been knocking around since October last year. As always, TDC have dragged their feet terribly. Hastings are going way ahead with their town deal. They did a consultation in March about their schemes. TDC only broadcast a request for suggested projects on the 30th of July this year, just in the middle of the holidays and with a 14-day turnaround. And in the first week, I found out from a board member that there was a likelihood that the Margate Town deal could encompass schemes that were other than in Margate itself. So therefore, I thought that Westgate should have a chance. So I, having been on the council a few years ago, I dreamt up 4 schemes. And as a result, I went to the website and put in 4 proposals with myself as sponsor. Talk more about that later on. The timetable I'll come to later on, but just cutting to the bone on this, the 4 schemes are: firstly, a proposal to reinvigorate and put up new coastal trail information boards along the coast in Westgate. A similar proposition has been put in by Margate Civic Society for the coast from Cliftonville through Margate and around into Westbrook. So it seemed to be sensible, as we've got a Viking trail linking all of the places, to have some new boards on. The 3 that we've got are really looking tatty and need replacing. We've known that, I think, for the last 5 years. So that is essentially the first of the projects, to refurbish old boards, put up new boards if necessary. The second project that I've suggested is the rehabilitation of the St Mildred's boating pool stroke paddling pool. I understood that some work had been intended to do there, but it is still in the same old tired, decrepit state. It looks nothing like the scenes on the 1935 and 40s postcards when it worked particularly well. I'm putting the suggestion that there should be some monies devoted to that pool. At the same time, in the proposal I put through to the town deal, I linked that proposal to actually rehabilitating the Margate Sands pool, which has had some work done on it, but TDC in its wisdom won't open it. And the other pool is Walpole Bay. I picked up the Thanet Isle News today, and I find that one of the projects that is mentioned by the Walpole Bay Swimming Society is to actually provide toilets and changing rooms at the Walpole Bay pool. In the submission,
I think we might have lost you a bit there, Dave. Your connection. Can you hear us?
He's frozen.
He's just, there we go.
Oh, he's back.
We lost you there for a couple of minutes, Dave.
Okay. So
after the Margate pool.
What I've suggested in the proposition I put forward, that the rehabilitation of the boating pool at St Mildred's Bay should be part of a wider concept, including bringing the Margate pool back into action and also dealing with Walpole Bay pool. And I noticed that in the newspaper today, the Isle of Thanet's news, it's mentioned that the Walpole Bay swimmers have put in a proposal, and that's given quite a lot of headway. I feel if that pool can be rehabilitated and helped, we'll have the same for our little pool at St Mildred's Bay. Third proposal that I've included is a hoary old chestnut dating back to 2015, which is to do something about the improvement of the canopies along Station Road. In the last few months, one of the freeholders has actually put up a very good replacement for the canopies on the corner of Station Road above Carol's old office. And I feel that the whole of the streets should be, as debated before as the Town Council, have the canopies improved as part of the Victorian character. It would also fit in with the little bombshell you've all had, which is the Station Road one-way system, insofar that that is related to the pedestrianisation of the road. And so having the canopies refitted, refurbished, whatever you could do along there would be part and parcel of that pedestrianisation project, in my view. And I know that Emma, in one of her productions on the website, has mentioned the need for those canopies, and that has been considered before. The last suggestion, it's probably the least likely, is to work with the London School of English in order to provide funding to enhance the Westgate Pavilion so it can be available for public use, and rather than just being as a supplementary classroom for the school there. That obviously depends upon the cooperation and willingness to work from the London School, and it could be that when all of the projects are revealed that they may have actually put in an application of their own. I would think that is likely to be probably the least probable of the 4 projects I put forward. I have to apologise for being somewhat preemptive on this, but I had effectively 3 or 4 days to talk through these schemes. I've checked out with the Westgate Heritage Society and the Conservation Area Action Group, and the schemes are generally supported by them. Regrettably, the town clerk was going on holiday, and I thought the last thing Jill could want to do was me to start bombarding her with things like this. So I've taken this all on my shoulders, and all 4 projects have me named as the sponsor. So this is like the Dragon's Den. I'm making a bid to you tonight to actually support these 4 projects, or choose from them if you can, with the possibility that they may be chosen to be taken forward. There's 25 million to go for. The TDC website has not published the details of all of the proposals put forward, including the one I've put, but it should be available soon. Sorry, somebody coughed. Is everybody with? And the proposition I'm putting is that the Town Council should support these projects, and if they do support it, pick up the ball and run with it if the decision is made to include any of them in the town bid process. The current state of play with that is that the various bids should be published by the 15th of September. None of them are available on the website present, so apart from looking at the Isle of Thanet news, that's all that we know about all the other schemes. And also by the 16th or so of September, the board will be assessing these projects to make sure they fit in with government priorities in order to assure themselves they'll get the money. That's the end of my pitch. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your meeting, and I hope I've said something of interest to you. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Dave. before you go, do any councillors have any questions? No, I've got one. You've got the 4 projects: the notice board, the boating pool, possible projects, canopies, and pavilion. What sort of sums are involved, Dave? I know this has gone through really, really quickly. It's it's brought in. Go on. Sorry.
I had to fill in a set of proposal forms for each scheme. So I think I estimated a possible maximum of about £10,000 for the notice boards, and I think I put in a ballpark figure of 30 grand for the boating pool, and I think something like 50 grand for the station road canopies. But obviously, all of these projects like to have match funding before you can actually open the purse of the people, and also they've all got to find support through the town deal board. And I'm very suspicious of TDC taking such a long time to do this and then rushing in at it like a bull in the china shop. And personally, if I were in the government officer making a decision on this, I wouldn't trust him with a bag of sweets, let alone £25 million. But nevertheless, if there's 25 million to go at, and there's a chance that Westgate can get a share of it, I think you should go.
No, absolutely. I mean, 10,000 for notice boards when a lectern is 785 and the vinyl covered posters are 80, according to the Thanet Coastal Project manager. That would do quite nicely, because I know they are used and they're informative. So thanks again, Dave. And nobody wants to ask any questions? No. Okay. Enjoy your evening, Dave.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The next item on the agenda is Councillor's report, and that tonight is Councillor Matthew Scott, following his meeting with TDC on the one-way system. Thanks, Matt.
Good evening, members and members of the public. First of all, apparently issues last time round with hearing me. Is everything all running smooth at the moment?
Yes, it's all good this evening.
Okay, excellent, cool. I'll get on to it then. So yeah, basically regards to the active travel scheme that's sort of been hit upon us, especially in Westgate, out of the blue for most people, especially with the TDC side of councillors, and to my understanding, even some KCC councillors weren't aware of what was going on. Because of this, I did want to actually approach TDC's perspective. Initially, they put out a post highlighting the active travel scheme, and I really wanted to just sort of gauge what was known and what's actually going on. So myself, along with some other councillors who felt they were affected by this, had a meeting a couple of days ago, sort of last week, and basically to give you sort of the full, not much information really came forward. So I mean, I'll basically put out the report I put forward, but as it stands, it's basically come under the guise of the government COVID-related initiative. So it's down to social distancing, active travel, clue in the name, and it's given the opportunity for upper tier authorities such as Kent to have funding to spend on active travel schemes, which will prioritise cycling, walking, obviously not using your cars and whatnot. The money is coming in 2 tranches, which is the first tranche is having to be spent before the second. And I think this is where a lot has come into no sort of time really being given. Basically, to be awarded the second amount of money, this amount of money has to be spent. The first lot has to be utilised and put forward to actually justify the second spend. And because of this, this is apparently why there wasn't much consultation with any of the actual councillors, absolutely no consultation with any of the members of the public or the businesses. And to my understanding, even district council had little to no consultation. So that's what I took away from it. I mean, basically, I wanted to actually get some more information. So there has been an opportunity for another meeting to go ahead with any councillors who are interested. Myself will be attending, but this will be to actually have a conversation with one of the KCC officers involved, who is looking after the Westgate side of things, and onto an understanding, perhaps maybe if we did want to have our KCC councillors come in with a bit more information, perhaps the town council will wish to do that. But there's going to be more details, I believe, next week to an actual meeting. So really, the information I wanted to get wasn't really forthcoming. I did actually ask TDC's position. I did actually highlight that how it's actually come about, the information we've been given, the lack of information we do not have, such as actual any efficient plans. We're obviously working here, so there's no sort of confirmed KCC plans until next week. But based on the hearsay, a lot of concern has come into the actual fruition that the one-way system won't work. So, okay, I've got a little sign here saying can people hear me? Because it's flashing up saying that my internet connection is unstable. Is that still fine?
No, Matt, we're having a bit of trouble with connection. And Councillor Dr. Scott's back with us.
Anyone?
No, try again, Matt.
Right.
Have you frozen?
Okay. What
Yep.
did you hear and what haven't you heard?
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, we could.
You hear me, but I'm just putting in there.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear. Can everyone else
I
hear?
mean, it might be better if I turn off the camera. Okay, is that going to be better?
The sound is the same, whether you're, black or just frozen. No, that's whether you're just a blank space or frozen.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, what have you heard up to the point? I mean, information-wise, what have you not heard? What have you heard?
It was just the last couple of minutes.
Last couple of minutes. Wow.
Oh, no, sorry, seconds. The last little,
Okay.
We heard
I mean,
up to the point about lack of information.
okay,
Yes,
lack of
from
information.
TDC.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean,
have
the
to-
lack of information.
Yeah, I would point
Go on.
out that we actually didn't have any information at all. Nothing.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's it. We had virtually no information, especially on the TDC level, especially on the town council level. So all of it is running on the hearsay, and based on the hearsay, it's come to obviously fruition that the one-way system just isn't viable in the sense that due to removing actual parking bays, widening the pavement will actually reduce any sort of events possibilities. There's lots of clear indications, having spoken to people who have actually highlighted that there could also be an actual increase in speed due to a one-way system because people won't see to actually see a possibility of oncoming traffic. As people go around to get back out of Westgate, people will try and speed out. So there's lots of talk and to this point evidence to say that a one-way system just wouldn't work in Station Road or for Westgate for that matter. So yeah, I mean, I did try to get an understanding of how TDC felt. I said that this could actually destroy a large amount of businesses. This could actually put Westgate in a very detrimental position. And obviously TDC's interest is obviously it's one of its districts. It's one of its towns within its district and where it felt. They said, based on what I asked, was they wouldn't want to see that happen to Westgate. They wouldn't want to see any town within their district be affected negatively by this. So we take that for what we will. So yeah, I mean, following up, it's a case of getting that next meeting, getting more information out. But it was strongly put on that this money will not be awarded. The second tranche won't be awarded if they don't get the first. And well, people want money. There's a lot of money on stake. So it's likely that this could be something that goes ahead. From what I felt and the impressions I got, obviously KCC have now given information to say that they can be open to listening to comments and feedback, and we've all posted that out. We've all given the information. Us as councillors have done that, I trust. So continue doing that. I've requested from members of the council, myself within town, that we can look into alternatives to maybe investigate a one-way system, but actually look into still allowing KCC to get the fund that they need, but looking into different aspects. So potentially maybe a reduced speed limit within the station road. Obviously, I mean, we can even look into the fact that when they're talking about active travel, yes, no provision for cycling. I mean, based on what we've heard about the plans, they place planters, but there's no sort of cycle path. There hasn't been sort of any sort of provisions to have places you can lock your bikes. I mean, yeah, you can do it to a lamppost, but it'll be nice to have those sort of provisions where you can stack up your bikes nicely. So it's these alternatives that maybe we can sort of push and say, look, you know, you can get your money, but, you know, can you do it so we don't actually lose out as a town? So I'm open to questions. I'm also happy if a KCC councillor wants to come in or the town council wish to allow that to happen. How I took it from, it is a case of waiting until we get more information, really. So sorry for the rambling, and sorry if I've cut out in and out, and I'll put my little ugly mic back on.
No, that's fine, Matt. It's only a little bit of a hiccup there. Thank you very much for that. Do any councillors have any questions? Do any of the residents have any questions? Well, we'll start with Councillor Pennington. Thank you.
Thank you. I would hope that at best this could be the launch pad for a sensible discussion with KCC and TDC about the development of the centre of Westgate. The way in which it has been imposed on us is not a good sign, and I hope that message is clearly received in Maidstone. I do think we need to respond to some of the new priorities, but we have to put first the character of the town and the viability of the shops in the centre. And I think those are the key points which we need to defend, because they don't seem to have been a particular concern in drawing up these plans. So I hope we can move forward in partnership with KCC, rather than just being on the receiving end of their ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pennington. Councillor O'Connor, do you want to save this till item number 7?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you know, is there any kind of proper plans out that we can see or review? Because, you know, we're all hearing rumours about this road being closed, that road being dealt with, this, you know, bits and pieces coming. And, you know, it's very difficult for us to put anything forward of what we'd want in its place, or not want at all, if you know, if we don't know for certain. So that was just, you know, do you know if there's any actual hard and fast plans?
We haven't received any, and I don't know if Emma wants to add to this. Emma?
Yes, sorry about that. There will be some plans coming out. They are looking at probably in a few days' time. I've got to talk with the officers after the 7th of September. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, thank you.
From
Oh.
Can you hear me?
We
Yeah.
could, now we can't.
Can't hear me now?
Well,
No,
we could,
that's right,
yes,
Emma.
we can. If you're slightly forward, we can hear better.
So there will be some plans coming out, and that will be soon. I'm speaking to an officers after the 7th of September, and we're going to then push for those plans to come out so that you guys can see that. I do want to add as well, TDC, Thanet District Council, did know about this scheme because they also have schemes going ahead. You know, I was told by other councillors that are sort of like, that know the Labour group there, so Councillor Everett and Rick Everett, that there was discussions with Thanet District Council probably way before the KCC councillors actually knew. And so that's what's really quite poignant here, is that we didn't get to know until very late, and that's the problem. So Thanet District Council do also know. I know that maybe Councillor Matthew Scott didn't get told this at his meeting, but I have heard it from other that they did know about it. I just wanted to put the record straight there. But as soon as I find out more, around the 7th of September, I will let you know.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you very much. Pauline, Councillor O'Connor.
Okay, so you're going to give some more of these plans, but when's the actual start date for this to go ahead? Because at the moment, if you're not going to the 7th, that's another week. And when do they plan to start implementing this?
Right, they plan to start implementing it mid-September.
We're in September.
Mid-September, 14th of September, mid. I know that sounds crazy, and I'm with you all the way. I'm with the residents all the way. I've spoken to KCC's planning chairman today, and he said to me himself, he said, we need to stop this. We need to stop this. So I have got councillors, got colleague councillors that are in my positions in KCC, also, pushing for Westgate as well. We just need to keep pushing in the right areas.
Do any councillors want to ask Emma any further questions on that?
I just want to say that if you're going ahead mid-September, that means that you're not even prepared to be listening, or they're not even prepared to be listening to any plans that we may have or make any changes.
I agree.
So you're not giving us an opportunity. We don't know exactly what's occurring. You're not giving us an opportunity to even look at plans and see what we might think was sensible, what not.
As Councillor Scott said, what the information that he got was that the first tranche and the second tranche are dependent on each other, and that's what I've been told. It's not good enough. I know it's not good enough. I know how you feel. I know that it will ruin businesses. I'm on your side. I'm trying my hardest to work with officers and with, the cabinet members, Roger Goff, Michael, cabinet member for highways, right now to try. We don't actually want it. We want a consultation, something else. They can't make it right now. It be completely just got rid of, and then a new project put in its place. We can't stay with this project. It has to go completely. And so that's what we've got to push for. We don't want to wait for, the shop owners to have to get all that money together to take this to court. We have to do it now. And that's my stance on this. And this is what I'm pushing at Kent County Council at the top level. We have to stop this project from going ahead. We can't have it. If you want to tweak it, you have to tweak it through a consultation. So this one has to go completely. The one-way system, the car parking spaces removal, it has to go. And then we have to start again. Some councils have actually listened to their wards, and they've literally said, we're not going to go through with this. We're going to give a consultation first. Some councils have actually listened, but our council isn't listening. So that, we have to push them to listen. And that's what my job is in the next 7 days. It's with the people that I know, is to stop this, to try and stop this at the top level.
Emma, what sort of number of other councils have refused?
I think there's around 3 other councils that have looked at these schemes and said, no way, this isn't going to work. That is because they know that they're stupid schemes and that they need to be reassessed. Basically, they've got to be pushed out and then have a new one put in. And they councils that have been, they actually take residents' concerns into consideration. KCC has not done that, and they've been in consultation with TDC. Both together have decided to do this scheme in Westgate. And so this is what we've got to stop. We have to stop this project from going ahead completely. Just get rid of it.
Emma, how much? Oh, I beg your pardon. Councillor Page. Councillor Page?
Just unmuting, thank you. I do feel it necessary because people will also have a concern that there is a hidden agenda regarding parking meters and parking charges, which could form an inherent part of this. Will that also be addressed as an agenda item amongst this topic?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes.
Are you asking me that?
Yes, I think so, Emma. Yes.
Okay. Yes, that can be addressed as well in with it. The whole thing. Why are they doing it? They don't need to do this in Westgate. They need to leave Westgate alone. You know, that's the whole thing. It works as it is. It doesn't need to be changed right now. And
Yeah.
the effect that can have on businesses, they need to compensate them businesses for that loss of money that they're going to lose through this system being implemented. So I will address all of those things that you're saying.
Councillor O'Connor.
How can we help stop this? What do you need us to do to stop this now?
You've done, I think you've really done all you can. I mean, the video, the protest, you know, ITV came down. I think now I need to gain support from the people that I know in KCC. So the chairman of planning has spoken to me today. He's going to help me, and he's very strong. He's a very strong character. And I'm going to liaise with him, Roger Goff, Michael Payne, and speak to them again, because this cannot go ahead. This has to be stopped. It has to be stopped.
So do you feel you've got enough clout there, Emma?
I think I have with those officers. Yes, I really do. I really do trust that there's enough of them to actually stand up. Alan Marsh is very strong, and he said to me today, Westgate needs to be left alone. It works.
Exactly.
As it.
Yeah. Sorry. It does. Councillor Donaldson.
Yeah. When this first came about, I think what we identified was that the power is actually with KCC and with KCC councillors. So both yourself and Liz, you know, got to go in there and talk to the likes of Simon Jones, and as you say, just cancel it.
Yes.
You know, there's been no consultation, no risk assessment. The whole thing, you know, just been top down forced on Westgate. It's going to be dangerous. There's people crossing the road. There's somebody's going to get killed, and all the rest of it. And you know, there's so much opposition in Westgate that it will be so undemocratic for them to go ahead with. So you know, I wish you all the best luck in the world with the officers on the 7th, and hopefully you can achieve the objective, which is you know, to throw it out.
I'm going to have to get quite sort of firm with them. I haven't spoken to them since this happened. I haven't been able to get hold of them. So I've emailed 4 times. I have had a response, but I haven't had a meeting, and I want a meeting, because you can't just keep sending flipping emails back to each other. You know, that's work. You need to have a face-to-face, you know, conversation, and it needs to hit home what is going down in Westgate is not at all. It's not desirable, and it won't work. Something else may work. I know some people are saying about this one-way system that, you know, oh, it could work if it was the other end, or it might work if you have diagonal parking, or it might, but that's not what we're talking about. We need to get rid of this scheme. It has to go. And then, you know, we might need to have a consultation for another one if we want it, or if not, just leave it as it is. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's my attitude. Leave it as it is.
Well done.
Good. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. I mean, there was talk of us speaking to Simon Jones, the highways officer. Is that a sensible thing to do?
I think so, but let me talk to him first. Let me talk to him, because, you know, I really do have to have that one-to-one conversation with him. And then after that, yeah, definitely.
Okay, because he knows, because we sent an email, and they did respond to that. But obviously our clerk was on holiday, so it couldn't be taken any further. But we'll wait to hear from you then, Emma.
Okay, thank you.
Will you communicate with our town clerk?
Of course, yes.
Thank you. All right, many thanks. Right, we're going to move on to the next agenda item now, which is a town council agenda item. It won't take many minutes for those residents who are with us. It's the finance reports. Councillor O'Connor.
Yeah, we've got our normal set of reports here. Sorry, am I on? Yeah, we've got our normal set of reports, which is obviously our bank reconciliations, in the normal format that everybody should have received, as well as our expenditure reports from the deposit account, as well as the current account, so with the transfers and any receipts that have been received. So you should have got a set of those for the 2 months that we were closed. You will have up to the 31st of the 7th. You've got a detailed receipts and payments report, which shows you our actuals in reverse against our budget. So you can see that going forward on a year-to-date basis. We haven't done the forecast for this month. We'll be doing that ready for the next finance and general purpose meeting. So that will go forward, as we said. That'll be quarterly one that we come out on. So you've got the normal expenditures on that. And we have the last report, which is the actual. So you can see year-to-date, budget and actual, but versus last year. So obviously that gives you an indication of how we're doing against last year. Okay. I mean, the main thing is at the moment, obviously we're not doing any of our events and we're not doing any income generation because of COVID and the way it goes through. So unless nobody's asked me to bring any questions to the table, so I'm assuming all the reports are all right and they can be ratified.
Yes, Councillor Donaldson.
I propose that we adopt the reports.
And seconded by Councillor Wallen. And everybody in agreement? Not everybody? Councillor Dr. Scott, is that? Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Pauline. As always, very clear and understandable and concise. Thank you. Right, on to the last of our agenda items, which is our own discussion on the response that the Town Council is going to give to KCC for this active travel scheme. It's over to you, councillors. It's really about what the main objections, and since Emma from KCC spoke, it seems that we just need to stick to our objections rather than provide any compromise or solutions. That comes next. I don't know, do you agree with that, Pauline? Councillor O'Connor, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, it's just I'm concerned on some of the things. It's not just a case of what we don't like. It's a case of that from the rumours that we're hearing of what may happen. For instance, Westbury Road, which is I believe is going to be one way as well as Station Road, which appears that it's possibly going to come out the wrong way and expect people to turn right over the Canterbury Road. You know, it's dangerous. It would be very dangerous indeed. So it's not just a case of some of these plans that we're hearing rumours about that are, you know, unsuitable for Westgate for business and everything. They're also plain not thought about and plain dangerous. So I'm concerned that it's a two-prong here. One, the stuff that we don't want to lose our businesses, we don't want to lose our shops and our uniqueness. And the other is we don't want to be forced to accept a route that could actually cause accidents and be a danger to our residents.
Thank you. So you're saying that Westbury Road, the one way as it is, how would that be so dangerous?
Well, from what I've heard and what I've seen, and I don't know for certain because we haven't seen the plans, so it's only supposition. But from what I can see, they're saying that it should come in from the bridge end, if you like, and going out one way, going out towards the Canterbury Road, you know, the other way, going towards Reed Court, which means anybody wanted to turn right would be turning right over the Canterbury Road, you know, a dual carriageway to turn around to get out, which is just absolutely dangerous. And also coming down from the traffic lights to turn into Westbury Road, they'll be turning right in front of the bridge. Absolutely ludicrous, you know, totally dangerous for that one. And that's just one of the roads that, you know, that I've heard about that people have said they were worried about to me.
And that's a fully residential road, Westbury Road, isn't it?
It is. I know it's narrow and it may lend itself to have a one way, but it's certainly not going one way in the right way. You know, it's not being thought out. It's being done by obviously people who don't know Westgate, who don't live in Westgate and don't walk Westgate, you know, and they're trying to get our residents killed you know, let alone, you know, Station Road and the aspect of Station Road in our businesses and the way that would go.
Exactly. Councillor Dalton, and
Yeah,
then Councillor Page.
Yeah, I think what from from what Emma was saying and what we think is really actually going on, our position has to be very robust in that we unanimously support Emma in her plight to abolish the whole thing, that we just don't want it, throw it out, and that we as a first tier council have a limited amount of power, but our position is that we unanimously oppose the scheme. There obviously is, I mean, I shouldn't really say this, but there is a hidden agenda in that, you know, Kent County Council is cash strapped and, you know, is looking for money to, you know, balance its budget, essentially, is the truth of the matter. And imposing this kind of scheme on Westgate is completely and absolutely unacceptable.
Thank you. But the point that we are supporting the wishes of the residents, which is why we exist, and also the fact that we are fully supporting KCC Councillor Emma Dawson.
Yes, quite.
Thank you. Councillor Page.
Thank you. Following on from Councillor O'Connor and her citing Westbury Road, it's a clear example that these things cannot be put through quickly without careful consideration to the detail involved, which is why a public consultation is vital. Just taking Westbury Road as an example again, a one-way system in that road might work well in the opposite direction, because it is a narrow road, which at the moment is two-way. The problem with it being two-way and so narrow is that people park up on the pavement. And I'd like to cite this as an example about inaccessibility for people who are perhaps in wheelchairs, people with prams and pushchairs, because I personally experienced an incident where a gentleman in a wheelchair could not carry on along the pavement because of a parked vehicle. And I had, without wasting time here, I had to ask him if he could get out of his chair and lean against the wall so that I could take his chair round the vehicle to put it on the other side back on the pavement, and then carefully try and get him down the wall stage by stage back into his wheelchair. And it's all down to the fact that the road is too narrow. People are parking on pavements, and I understand from the newspapers a couple of days ago that that will very soon become illegal in England. But that's just one small example, and it can cause such a problem very easily. These things need to be looked at in detail, careful detail, and the public needs to be consulted about the various issues that they're experiencing. And that can only be done through the feedback of people who live in the town and live that on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councillor Page. Councillor Nightingale.
Yeah. I just think that the worst part about this is all that we're dealing with what rumour and what might be happening and what could happen. We just need to see exactly what the plans are, seeing as none of us have ever known that. And I think, as has been said tonight, the whole thing needs to be scrapped so that we can have something to debate what the contents of the supposed plans are. And I don't think we should go along with just tinkering this and what that might happen. We need to know exactly what the plans are, and then we can discuss with not just the council, but with local residents who are probably going to be far more better informed on possibilities and problems that might be occurring. And I just think, as what's been said tonight, we shouldn't just go along with this at all. And then we need to see the plans, we need to see them in front of us. There needs to be negotiations with local residents who are better informed than any of us on some of those issues as well.
Thank you, Councillor Nightingale. And I think we're all 100% behind that, what you've just said. Councillor Pennington.
Yes, thank you. I would certainly support that. I mean, I think this highlights in some ways the not just the imbalance of power between the different tiers of local government, but also the fact that the KCC has a particular interest in highways, and that nobody is bringing the whole picture together, and it's only really at our level that we can do that. So that's why I would support the idea that our first priority should be to get the plan scrapped, and then we start building from scratch again with what could work and what could improve the town. Thank you.
No, absolutely. But that's a good point about the lack of disabled provision in the town. But then I think a resident previously did a report on what would be very useful within Westgate, but that will come out later. So overall, we're agreed that we will respond to KCC with a definite, this needs to be scrapped. We need to be consulted. Our residents need to be empowered. Communities, we need community information to provide detailed information for a sound plan, and most importantly, to spend this money wisely for our community, because that's what we are morally bound to do as councillors, to ensure that the money is spent correctly and that our communities benefit from it. Thank you very much. If nobody has anything else to say, we're going to get together, the Vice Chair, myself and the Town Clerk. We'll put a response together. Councillor Dr. Scott.
Thank you. And I just thought I'd add, you know, that once again, this is sort of something that's been imposed upon us from other areas. You know, I think it's important that, you know, we keep our eyes and ears open for anything like this in the future, you know. Aware that these happen through, you know, TV. And, you know, we have 2,000 houses. Can you hear me?
Yes, just.
Can you hear me?
You're breaking up just a little bit.
Yeah, my internet said it was unstable. You know, I think having a town council, we need to sort of raise our profile a little bit so that we're always consulted first. And this is one of the most, really, because we're on the, and we dance as well. So, you know, it's great that
we've lost you, Councillor. We've lost you. I will say that sorry, we lost you there. No, we've lost you completely now. Sorry. We have participated in this. We are raising our profile, and we will be, as we've heard tonight, supporting Emma further. And I understand that North Sunnet MP is also against the scheme. Councillor O'Connor.
My major concern at the moment is, given the time frame, that Emma's not even getting a meeting till next week, which we won't hear about. And they're saying they're doing it the middle of September, which gives us a week. Obviously, we'll get together and you know, get that letter drafted and out. But you know, we need to know when they're actually going to, you know, bring the equipment down to Westgate and stand there and won't let them. You know, basically.
Yep.
And that's my worry about it.
I know that the businesses are talking about a peaceful protest, and that needs supporting. So I'm talking to a couple of people tomorrow, as with my work hat on, so I can get back to the Town Clerk and we can email everybody with details. Is that all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Well, that wraps it up for this evening. Thank you very much to Emma, Kay, Ray, Adrian, Russ and Anna and Phil who've joined us. Phil from Birchington. That's Phil, Councillor Phil. And thank you everybody for your input tonight. And I'm glad that we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. We've made our statement on that, but we are 100% everybody behind it. And we'll keep everybody informed. So we're finishing the meeting at, I turned my phone off, so it's 19:54.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you, everybody. Thank you, Jill.